Hey there everyone, this is Brick Build Brick Films here, talking about the 5 things that LEGO noobs do in stop motion. I got this idea from multiple YouTubers, including Goldpuff and LEGO Animation. I just thought I'd explain some of my own that I see in a lot of stop motions that I think needs to have an end. The first one we're going to talk about is using clay to hold a minifigure's part in place. I see this happen so much, and I'm gonna admit I even did this too back when I was newbie in stop motion. Especially when you use a clay that doesn't blend in with the color of a minifigure. You have an orangey black minifigure. Black definitely fits this problem. And you stuff a bunch of white clay into the arm socket to make it look like it's waving. Yeah, like this example right here. You see the problem with that. Never do that. Just if you want to do an arm popping effect, make sure to use a clay that will at least blend in with the color of the minifigure, and don't use too much of it because you don't want it to show in your stop motion. You can even use an editing tool to erase it out of the picture if you need to. Just don't use a clay color that doesn't match the color of your minifigure. Moving on to number 2. Number 2, we're going to talk about using the right minifigure walk style. Now, in this video, I'm not going to show you how to do a walk style. I'm just going to show you how you shouldn't use a walking style in LEGO stop motion. Never do this, because you can see how terrible that looks. Like, you don't want your minifigure to look like it's sliding around. You want it to have some characteristics. Make it come to life whenever it walks, not just slide around aimlessly. You never want that to happen. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 is a major problem for people who are just starting stop motioning. It's keeping your hand and fingers out of the frame. You gotta have some patience when doing LEGO stop motion. You can't just think you're gonna zip right through it. And that's how this mistake happens. People are filming their stop motion, they have their hand in the frame, and before they can even pull away, they press the button. And then you look at the stop motion, it looks like something like this. And you gotta make sure you don't do that, because if not, you're not gonna go very far in stop motion. You're probably thinking, oh, why is this guy lecturing us? He only has like 9 subscribers. I just started on YouTube, okay? I'm just letting you know what I've learned not to do. Never put your finger in the frame, because it's going to mess up the style of your entire stop motion. Another problem that a lot of noobs in stop motion have is using the right lighting for their stop motion. I use a lamp and the regular lights in my room. Never use natural light that's coming from your window. Reason being, when the clouds pass over through the sky, it changes how bright it is outside or how not bright it is outside. That also happens coming through your window, and it creates something that looks like this. Now, in that one, it wasn't that noticeable, but if I slow it down for you like this, you can see that the background's a little flashy, a little flickery, and you don't want that to happen in your stop motion. You want the background to look smooth and stay in the right color and in the right light. And a little bonus tip, you'll also notice that the camera is extremely out of focus. Make sure your camera is in focus before you take the first picture. And for my final tip that stop motion noobs do, you'll notice that in the first clip that I showed with the clay attached to the minifigure part, you'll notice that the frame rate is really slow as well. Well, that is also a problem. You gotta make sure that your frame rate is at a smooth level so that your stop motion looks a little more appealing and not really slow like in the video. But make sure, it depends on how many pictures you take within a certain motion. If you take a lot of pictures with very slow movements, you might want to have your frame rate high, like in the 20s. I don't take that many pictures in my stop motion, so I run easily at a 12 to 13 frames per second. Whatever's your comfort zone. Don't run below 10, because that's when your stop motions look really bad because of the frame rate. Anyway, those were my 5 tips for things that stop motion noobs do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll give you guys more tips in the next video. See ya.